into the cloud.
Alrighty, welcome to, let me get a little closer here. Welcome to Neuro-Movement for Parkinson's with PD Active. My name is Stephanie Comella. And in today's class, as we always do, we're going to be working on the floor. So make sure you have ample floor space to move around in, push those coffee tables off to the side, push off the couch so you have lots of room to move and roll around on. In this class, if you didn't already know, we work on our movement skills and confidence, moving around on the floor, and then also getting up and down from the floor, up and down to the floor with ease. We're going to start off class today with a little body scan to see how our body is feeling at this moment in time. That way, at the end of class, we have something to compare to. We have kind of a before and after. I'm all about the scientific method and systematic practices. All right, so go ahead and start with your feet directly underneath your hips. And if it feels right to close your eyes, feel free to do that. And if you feel like you lose touch with your balance when you close your eyes, you can always hold onto a chair or scoot next to a wall while you do your body scan with the eyes closed. Go ahead and wander your weight shifting, wander your weight from side to side. So we're going to just move our weight into the right foot and then move our weight into the left foot. And again, if you need to stagger your stance out, widen out your feet a little bit or hold on to something for balance, please do what you need to do. Okay. Just moving your hips side to side, noticing which side you feel most comfortable moving into or out of and how that weight shift feels. Does it feel fluid? Does it feel hard to start? You can start to sort of sway your arms with the weight shift, right and left. And if you can see what my feet are doing, starting to lift your heel up for a little side to side movement here, okay? And you can go as fast or slow as you need to go, taking notes on how this movement feels for you, as we always do, right? We're always taking notes on how the movement feels. Good. Let's go 2 more of those sways. And then we'll bring it back to our center. Reset yourself if you need to. I'm going to turn to the side. We're going to start to sway forward and back. And if you know yourself to fall backwards, maybe back yourself up against a couch or a chair. We're going to shift forward a little bit onto the balls of the feet. And then shift back into the heels and maybe even lift up your toes. Be mindful of your shuffling backwards. So if you want to counterbalance with your arms a little bit so that you can get on those heels, that's probably a good idea. Coming forward onto the toes and then shifting back. Coming forward onto the toes and shifting back. And you get to decide how high those heels come and how high those toes come. Okay. Feel the balance reaction. Feel the reaction of the arms going in opposition of maybe where your hips and your weight goes to counterbalance. Yeah, nice job, Bill. Good, let's go 2 more of those, warming up your feet and warming up your weight shifting. Last one. Beautiful, and reset. Find your feet placed on the mat and give your toes, I'm going to do it with my hands so you can see, give your toes a little scrunch where you're sort of pulling your toes in to create a bigger arch in your foot and let your toes spread out. So we're scrunching up the toes a little bit to find an arch and then release and ooze out the toes so you're flat-footed. Pull the toes in and then ease the toes out. Yep, again, getting a little bit more awareness of our foot connection so we can be really strong and planted all the way through the feet. I'm just doing what my feet are doing with my hands. If that helps you get the action in your feet, feel free to do that in your own body as well. Let's go 3 more toe scrunches or foot scrunches. 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Good. Then see if you can play piano with your toes a little bit. Can you kind of wander them up off the ground one by one, or maybe all at the same time? Just something that's more interesting than what you normally do. And then if you're tending to play piano in one direction, go in the opposite direction. Oh, that's tough, huh? Maybe some ankle movement, some foot movement, lots of awareness going on in our feet. All right. Let's give ourselves a little bit of a bounce here. So we're gonna bend in the knees and let the shoulders and the arms sort of bounce and wobble around. It should be a quick bounce up and down. This is gonna help us get into our fascia, which asks for a little bit quicker rebounding, okay? If you wanna add a little heel lift with that, go ahead. And if you even wanna hop, feel free to hop. Okay, so a couple of layers to choose from, whatever makes sense for you today. And if you're not hopping, you're going just the knee bounce. Yeah, nice. Get the jiggle, get the jiggle, get the jiggle. 5, 4, 3, 2, nice, William. And last, beautiful, shake it all out. Do a couple of backstrokes with those arms, circling one arm back at a time. You hit a wall, just move out of the way. Winding up through the shoulders. Go ahead and let your torso rotate. So as you reach one arm back, look to the side of the room that that arm is going. Look to the side, look to the side, look to the side. Depending on how your mobility is, maybe we can even look behind you. Look behind you as if you were driving and you're trying to merge lanes, you're looking behind you. Good. Add the weight shift with it. So now we're getting a little wild, weight shifting, one side, then the other side. Lots of layers, pick your poison. If that was overwhelming or overstimulating, just pick one of those things to focus on. Yep, just like we did in the weight shifting earlier, you can push off through the toes. And let's go 3 more of those. 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. From here, we're going to keep our feet planted. So find the tripod in your foot. When I said the scrunching of your foot earlier, think about your toes gripping the ground and your heel also gripping the ground. It's going to create that arch. Sit the hips down, bring your arms forward. We're going to sit in a squat, nice and slow. And we're going to hold this, and it's going to be slightly painful. And then stand on up. Let's have most of you take a step wider, please. Yeah, almost all of you. Yep, there we go. Here we go. Sit down in your squat, arms forward. Feel the tripod, pretend you're sitting in a chair. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then push the arms back. Bring your hips forward. Think about your belt buckle, your pubic bone coming forward. Again, sitting back. Holding your hips over the seat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push the ground away, hips come forward, shoulders go open, eyes come up, chest is proud. Let's go again, hover. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push the ground away, arms come back, nice job, hover again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push, open up, you got one more set here, hover, hover, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push away, open up the chest. Nicely done. We're going to go ahead and come down onto the ground, but we're going to do it in a systematic way. If you need to grab onto something, a couch, a chair, or wall, please do so. We're going to slide one knee back and bring the knee down. And then the other knee is going to come down to the mat. So now we're kneeling. Good. See how controlled you can make that happen. Nice. Great job, team. All right. So we have both knees down. Yes. Both knees down. Let's have you untuck your toes so that your feet are flat and the laces are down. Laces are facing down. Right here, we're going to sit your hips back as far as you're able to go. And I understand that's a lot of knee flexion and a lot of stretch on the top of the foot. So just do what you can. Once you hit that bottom range, go ahead and come up into your high kneeling again. Okay, so we're going to sit the hips back as far as they'll go and then press that belt buckle forward. Very nice. Chest is up, eyes are up, and then press. In fact, let's have one hand on your heart and one hand on your pubic bone. There we go. We want to keep those open. Sit the hips back. Push your hips into your hand that's on your pubic bone, on your pelvis, to keep you a little bit more in alignment of driving through the hip bones. Nice job, team. That looks really nice. Push. Good, we're gonna do 2 more of those. Yep, and last one, push up and stay up. Beautiful. Arms out like a zombie, hold. We're gonna do thigh stretch or zombie move. We're gonna lean the hips back or lean the torso back and then press through your shins and come vertical again. This is called thigh stretch. It's gonna create a little bit of stretch and maybe even burn in the thighs. Leaning back and then pressing forward. Now keep in mind, we're not sitting the hips down. That was what we just did before this. This one is a full lean with the shoulders and the hips and the knees in alignment and then coming vertical. Love-hate relationship with this one. Lean back, tension on the front part of the body, and then push. Nice job. We got 2 more. Lean back and push. Last one. Lean back. Nice, Alana, and push and release. Let's bring our hands down to the mat. Our first time putting weight through the hands. Separate your fingers as wide as you can go. And we're gonna rock. All right, so similar to what we did in kneeling, we're gonna sit the hips back and then pull the weight over your wrists. Nice. Sit the hips back and pull the weight over your wrists. Now I want you to find something in front of you that you can keep your focus on. If you have a letter ball or something like that, you can even place that letter ball in front of you, something that's going to grab your attention to keep your eyes up. As you sit back, try not to let your back round when you sit back. We want to keep a nice flat back, wide sit bones when you sit over the heels, and then pull your weight over your wrists. Very nice. Sitting back and weight comes forward. Nice job. Widen out through those fingers. We're going to go 3 more of the rocking. 2 more of the rocking. And last one of the rocking. Nice work. From here, we're going to tuck your toes underneath. See if you can get those toes to come underneath. And sometimes I need to kind of reach back and help my toes get more tucked. And we're going to do that same rocking with the toes tucked now. Sitting the hips back and the weight over your heels is going to put some stretch on that foot. Shift forward over your wrist. Eyes are up. Sit back. Shift forward. So simple. I'm not going to change anything. You don't need to look at me. Just looking up at in front of you, finding that eye lock, that gaze lock to keep you focused in extension. Nice job. Let's go 2 more. Last one. Beautiful. Sit the hips back. Round your spine. Come up onto your tip tops of your finger. We did this last week. We're going to pull ourselves up. Zombie coming out of a swamp. And we're now in our zombie on our knees and kneeling. Arms out in front on the horizon. We have our toes tucked. We're going to do that thigh stretch zombie move again, but we have our toes tucked. Okay. Different, a slightly different experience. Now, if this makes you cramp for whatever reason, just untuck. Okay. Do what you need to do. Here we go. Leaning back, stretch through the front part of the body, push through those toes to get your hips to come forward. Everything restacks. Shifting back, push through those toes, get yourself vertical. Very nice. Shifting back. Push through those toes, coming vertical. Don't let your hips break. Keep the tail tucked underneath you. Shift and push. Good. So we're not sitting back on our heels. We're almost leaning on a diagonal. Good. Here we go, Carrie. Don't let your hips break. Don't let your hips fold. Keep your belt buckle forward. Push, 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 push. There you go. Nice. It's like a bridge, but you're in an upright position. Last one. Good. Nice. Now, we're going to do the sitting back version. If for whatever reason you were doing the sitting back version on the last set, go ahead and do the thigh stretch here. But we're going to sit the hips back. This is going to stretch your feet. Push through your feet to bring the hips forward. Last time we did hand on heart, hand on pelvis. I really liked that for a lot of you. Cueing the hips to come forward almost before your chest comes forward. Yes? Good. Eyes are up. Those hands are going to cue a lifted spine, lifted heart. Good. Hips come down, drive and press. Beautiful. Hips come down, drive and press. Let's go 3 more here. Kneeling hip presses. William, how you doing? Good. Awesome. Thumbs up. Last two. Push. One more time. Push. Nice job. Hands come down. Hands and knees position. Untuck those toes and just slap them out. Shake them out. Ooh. Yes, nice job. All right, we're gonna do a thread the needle stretch. Hands are gonna come out a little bit further than underneath your shoulders. Take one arm and thread it through the window. Lower yourself down to the mat and see if you can look actually underneath that armpit. Take a moment here to exhale fully. Get the full twist in the trunk. Beautiful. We're gonna take that hand that just threaded through and we're gonna place it in the small of our back. Can we reach it? Hand in the small of your back. Push through the ground and rotate and look open to the other direction. Yes? Thread underneath, same side. Thread, eyes come underneath, looking underneath your armpit. Push through the hand that's still on the floor. Bring your hand to the small of your back and then push open. Good. And if that hand in the small of your back doesn't feel right, you can just bring the hand out to the side or some version of rotating open, okay? So we're going out. Let's do this two more. Exhale, squeeze all the air out. Rotate over to the open side. Either hand in the small of your back or just reach out to the side. One more cycle here. We go through. Exhale, squeeze all that air out. And then reach open, hand in the small of the back, open up. Nicely done. Shift the hips back, take a quick moment to wiggle. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, 4 cycles. Here we go. Hands out a little further. One hand threads underneath for thread the needle. Exhale, squeeze all the air out. Push through the hand that's on the ground. Sweep it around to the small of your back. It's good shoulder mobility. And rotate and look up towards the ceiling on that side, open side. Good. And thread underneath. Exhale. Push away. Inhale. Thread. Exhale. Open. Inhale. Nice job. Last one, thread. And rotate. So good to see the tripod stance too in your quadruped. Nicely done. Now we're gonna let your knees walk over to one side here, one side of your mat or one side of your position, and just let your hips kind of fall off to the other side. Let your hips fall to one side. Yeah. And then we're going to be in this, we call it mermaid sit or side sit. So we're in this side sit, and if your legs are, we're going to try to have everyone on the same page. So cast your legs off to the right if they're not already there. And we're going to have both hands on the mat. So for twisted mermaid, let's bring your left elbow down to the floor. Your right elbow down to the floor. Right hand replaces the left elbow. Left hand replaces blah, blah, blah. I think you get it. So we're going to come down on both elbows and then up on both hands. Okay. Working the transition between elbows to hands in your side mermaid sit. Moving as fast or slow as you can go. It's a little take on those push-ups, right? Let's go 2 more. Last one, come up and hold. And we have those 8 push-ups right here with both hands on the mat. We're going to turn our left ear to the floor when we come down. Left ear comes down to the ground. See if you can touch the ear to the mat. Push away, look up at your focal point. Bend, ear to the mat, and push. There's 2. Drop. Up, 3. Drop. Up, 4. Nicely done. drop, up, 5, drop, up, 6, 7, and one more time here, ear drop and up. Nicely done. We're gonna walk the hands over or drift them over to the right side. Grab a hold of the ground or your shins or something, and let's see if we can get any sort of stretch going over to the right. Nice, Carrie, good, that's improved. Good. From here, we're gonna come down onto your right elbow, left elbow again. And we're gonna roll onto your back. So you're gonna have both elbows down on the ground and you're sort of in your crab position here, yes? Yeah, sort of like a pseudo crab, but you're on your elbows. So we have both elbows on the ground. Go ahead and tap out your feet, scrunch your toes, feel the work of your foot. They're gonna be in your feet, both feet. Hopefully you still have both feet. Working in this exercise here. Now, this is gonna be a little bit more intense shoulder stretch on the shoulders when we lift the hips up, especially when we get to the top. We're gonna hover the hips up and then set the hips down. Feel it out first. Hover the hips up and then hover down. Nice. Little different than on your hands. Here we go. Little baby hip hops. Lift and lower. Nice job. 2 more. Lift and lower. Last one. Push and down. Now in this position, we're going to transition onto our hands. So leaning off to one side and then pushing up and getting yourself settled on your hands. Don't get too comfortable. The exercise is the transition. So we're going to come down onto your elbows, come up onto your hands. Okay. You can of course use your core as much as you need to. Working at whatever pace makes sense. You can also consider which arm you're leading with as you come up. Maybe switch about now. So if you were using the same hand to come up. There's a little sneaky sit-ups, yeah? 2 more. Finish with your hands up. Good. And sort of weight shifting your hands to feel how far you can get those fingers to come rotating towards your hips. You might play with coming all the way into that stretch and then like, okay, I don't want to stay there too long. It's kind of nervy. It's a lot of pressure. I'm going to go back to where it feels good, which is usually with the fingers facing back. Let's go ahead and work on those tabletop bridges here with the hands on the mat now. So instead of on your elbows, tap the feet, scrunch the toes, get them involved in the situation. We're going to press your hips up. And then I want you to go a little bit higher than you think you need to, where you can, that extra little bit that I see in you that maybe you don't recognize fully to begin with. Here we go. Hips come up and then give yourself that extra bit. Nice, Carrie, good. And then down, tap the hips. We press up, up, down. Nice, up, down. We press up, down. Let's go 2 more of those. Lift, whole foot is working. And last one, push. Nice job, and reset. All right, we're gonna work on our side sit facing the other direction now. I'm just gonna turn so that I'm still facing you, but we wanna sit in that side sit so that the knees are, or the feet are casted to the left. Okay, and remember, we're gonna start with that transition from your elbows to your hands. So if you had to transition down and make that switch, no big deal, we're there. So just, you can come into whatever position looks like me right now. All right, so we're gonna go elbows down, both elbows down. There's a nice twist through your back there. That's nice. Hand comes down and then hand comes up. Now, last time I was using my left hand to lead. So this time I'm gonna use my right hand to come up first. If you're with me, you're with me. And again, this is a sort of a timed interval. So as many as you can get done within the time allotted. Working on that transition from elbows to hands. And we'll go for about 10 more seconds. One more time, and let's finish with both hands up. All right, we have those twisty push-ups. Right ear is going to come down to the floor. When you do your push-ups, keep the elbows narrow, hugging your torso. Bend your elbows, ear comes down, push away, eyes come up, look at your gaze in front of you. What did you pick? Drop the ear, and then eyes come forward. Nicely done. Drop the ear, eyes come forward. There's 4, 5, good. 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I'm sorry, extra credit, 10. I was thinking about what we're doing next. Excuse me, extra credit on that side. We're gonna swing around and come on to your crab position. We're gonna have our hands behind us. All right, tap those feet out, scrunch the toes, do what you need to do. Shoulders are open, heel, the hand is pressing into the mat. I know we're spending a lot of time on our wrists. We'll come off the wrists after this one. All right, we have lots of options. You can do your tabletop bridges from your elbows, your tabletop bridges from your hands, just as we did on the last set. Adding on a layer if you would like to add it in. If it's too much, just go to what we did last time. All right, so walk your feet all the way together for this third layer. We're gonna bridge the hips up into your high bridge. You're gonna take a moment to lift one leg into tabletop while you're holding your high bridge. Foot comes down. Let's do the other side as well, high bridge. Good. Once you've done both sides, you can take a seat with the booty, with your hips, and reset. Okay. If that doesn't work for you, just do your double leg bridges for the time that we're working on the single legs. Here we go. Up, get a little higher. Then we go one leg, hips come down. And you're working on this for a time interval, so don't feel like you need to keep up with me in either direction. Just work. Push, feel your feet working for you. One side's gonna take responsibility for that weight as you lift a leg up. Nice. Push through the leg that's still on the ground. That's what's more important in my brain and your brain, is that push as you switch from double leg stance to single leg balance. Good, Bill. Nice. Last one, we're gonna come up, bridge, bridge, down, and release. Nicely done. From here, straighten those legs all the way out and lower yourself down to the mat all the way. Big body on. Stretch your arms up past your ears and your toes pointed towards the other side of the room, so your fingernails and your toenails are growing in opposite directions. Circle those arms down by your side, similar to if you were doing a snow angel. And we're gonna scoop this imaginary scoop of something with our palms facing up towards the ceiling. Dorsiflex your feet, so pull the tops of your feet towards your shins, and then curl your head and shoulders up just a little bit. So you're like in this like reaching moment of your palms towards the ceiling, stretching towards those toes. It's like you wanted to offer your feet something on a platter. And then we're gonna lower your torso down, bring the arms up towards your ceiling and then overhead. We're gonna switch to the lengthening position where your toes are pointed, fingernails are reaching up. Now we'll switch to the shortening position where we circle the arms around, scoop the platter, curl your head and shoulders up, dorsiflex your feet. I know there's a lot going on, and feel a shortening in the front of your body. Very nice. The arms scoop up, point the toes, stretch and reach. All right, big body on. Oh, it feels so good. Shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Circle the arms around, Scoop that platter, especially with your pinky. Curl on up. Pull the tops of your feet toward your shins. Your upper back and maybe even your lower back are pressed down into the mat. Here we go again. 3 more. Point the toes, stretch the feet. Circle the arms around. Scoop with the pinky side of your hand. Curl up. Dorsiflex your feet. Pull in. Abs are in. Yes. Here we go. Sweep up. Inhale. Exhale. Curl around. Heel up. Dorsiflex your feet. Stretch the fingertips. Nicely done. One more at a time. We go inhale. Exhale, sweep the arms around, curl in, looking down at your toes as if your hands are serving your feet a platter. Very nice. Release your head and shoulders down. Arms are still going to stay up towards the ceiling. So we're going to give our neck and head a little bit of a rest. Go ahead and walk your feet in. And right here, we're going to take your right arm up past your ear so that your thumb comes down to the ground. Maybe it touches. And then bring your right hand back to where it came from. Left arm's going to come up overhead. And then bring it back to the center. So we're just alternating an upper body reach, an arm reach past your ears. Overhead, you would say. Yep, one more time. Good, hold. Let's bring those legs into a tabletop position. So 90-90. Thighs are vertical towards the ceiling, shins are parallel to the floor. And of course, we have active dorsiflexion in our feet. Nice neutral pelvis. So you have core activation to hold those legs in space. We're going to do those same things with the arms. Arm comes up past your ears and then bring it back. Left arm comes up past your ear and then pull it back. Nicely done. We're going to do this 3 more times, so 6 total. Yep, and if your shins are starting to work, oh yeah, because we got that dorsiflexion really strong. Beautiful, hold. Arms are going to stay stationary. Now we're going to just move the legs in the same way. Right leg reaches out. Please dorsiflex that foot, feel the length in your leg, and then pull the leg into tabletop. Beautiful. Left leg reaches out. Pull the leg into tabletop. Go ahead and continue alternating between your legs. Now, as the leg moves out in space, your weight, your center of gravity is shifting out. We want to keep that center of gravity in the same position no matter where your legs are in space. And I know physically that doesn't make sense, but the anchoring and the stability of where your center is stays in one place as the leg moves away. So you're not getting too much arching or pressing of your low back. It's staying nice and tidy with that core stability. We're going to do 1 more each side. This is a longer set. Nice work. 1 more each side. Good. Bring it in. Rest 1 foot down, the other foot down. Arms can go down by your side. And let your knees fall from right to left. All right, so using some picture, imagination, visualization. When you have your arms up towards the ceiling, maybe you can look at me when I do this. Arms up towards the ceiling and legs in tabletop. This would be like me in quadruped, right? Hands and knees. I'm just upside down. So we're practicing these skills of quadruped on our back. And then after we're done with this little series, we're going to bring it back to quadruped and work on these same patterns in quadruped. All right, we're going to add the opposite arm and leg reach in this position. So we have the arms up towards the ceiling, legs in tabletop, dorsiflex your feet, be active. Core is nice and engaged. We're going to bring right arm up past your ear. Left leg is going to stretch out long. Now, if we were in quadruped, starting to kind of like visualize this, your left hand and right knee are on the floor. So I want those engaged. Bring your limbs back to your start position, your dead bug position. Left arm goes up past your ear, right leg goes reaching. Feel the opposition and the length between your left fingernails and your right heel. Bring it back to your start position. Let's go a little bit quicker. So we're not holding it quite as long. We're gonna reach, take a moment to stretch it, and then pull back to your start. Reach, hold your center, pull back to center. Good. So no matter where your limbs are in space, your core is still working to hold the shape of your low back. And hold. Let's go 3 more, 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Beautiful. Nice job. Bring your feet down, arms come down, let your knees go side to side. Nice stretch for your hips. Something that rinses. Yes, trying to keep your shoulders down on the ground. Oh yeah, that feels so good. So good. Excellent. We'll do that one more time. Beautiful. Let your legs fall off to one side, and we're going to roll onto that side. So letting the legs fall and then rolling onto it. Okay, rolling onto it. We're going to be in this fetal position for a moment. Yep. And so you can make your bottom arm a pillow for yourself, or you can grab an actual pillow. Bend those knees in so that they're a little bit tidy. This top hand is going to be pressing down into the floor. So you can either make like a fist, knuckles, and push down, or you can use a flat hand, whatever makes the most sense for you right now. Kick your top leg out long and dorsiflex your foot. We're going to let that foot drop down to the ground. And what that's going to do is going to put a little bit of stretch through the top side of your body, so the side that's facing the ceiling. Now, with that little bit of a stretch, maybe your ribs lifted up off the floor a little bit, or your waistline lifted off the floor. See if that hand, that top hand that I had you make a knuckle, see if you can like have your hand go underneath. Can you like shove it underneath? And it may not be fully lifted depending on how much tissue you have there, but you can at least feel some lightness, some intention of lift. Okay. So you can either keep your hand underneath there for a reminder, or you can bring your hand back to the front with a fist. We're going to float that top leg up and down, but we're going to try to keep that lift underneath your waistline the whole time. Okay, so no changing the shape of the spine. We're holding nice and tight through your core to hold this spine stable, and we're going to lift and lower that top leg. Now, it should get a little smoky pretty quick on the side of the hip, especially if you're dorsiflexing your foot and reaching your heel long. Okay, we're going to do about 4 more here. 3 more. 2. And last one. Hold it about 5 inches above the ground, and we're going to go for some circles. We did this last week, right? We're going to go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch the direction. We'll sweep backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Slide that leg behind you, reach it backwards. That top arm is going to stretch forward in opposition of your top leg. Again, we did this one last week. We're going to swing your top leg forward and rotate the torso open so that the arm reaches behind you in opposition of your top foot. Swing the leg backwards as you roll forwards. And swing the arm backwards as you roll open. Nice. And the hand's just going to swing past your hips, similar to if you were walking, right? Just again up. Good. And I want you to try to get as much rotation as you can. So your head may roll off of your arm. If you're using your arm as a pillow, your head may roll off onto the ground, and then it will roll back on top of your arm as you reach forward. Good. This is a great exercise to do before you go on your walks. It primes the system for rotation and arm swing in a really safe, controlled environment. So really, you're really able to exaggerate your torso rotation in the gait pattern here without having to think about too much other other stuff. Good, one more time. Lovely. From here, we're gonna roll, send that bottom leg down. We're gonna roll over onto our front. Now, if you would like to just simply roll to the other side, go ahead and just roll to the other side. If you want to do a fancy transition, follow me. We're gonna push up into quadruped. Walk the knees through the hands. Sit the hips off to the side. And then spin and roll down. All right. So we have everyone on the other side. Yes. Bend your knees in. Fetal position. Top hand. We're going to either push it down here or it's going to feel the lift of your bottom waistline coming up. Top leg's going to kick out long. Dorsiflex your foot, please. Maintain that space. Now lift on your underside. Float the bottom leg and lower the bottom leg. I'm sorry, float the top leg. Excuse me, top leg. We're going up and down. Stretch your top leg long, 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 reaching through your heel. And again, you're trying to maintain a little bit of space underneath your waistline there as you lift and lower the leg. Nicely done. Hand can either be in front, underneath, or it can come onto your hip for a little bit less stability contribution. So it's a little harder when you have your hand on your hip. We're going to go one more, hold it about 5 inches. Circles in each direction here. We're going 5, 4, 3 from your thigh bone. 2, 1, reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bring it down. We're going to swing the leg back behind you. Reach your top arm forward. As the leg swings forward, you sweep the arm backwards. You're going to roll your heart open towards the ceiling. Again, your head may come off of your pillow. Sweep your head. You may have to lift your head up again to come back over onto your arm. It's all good stuff. Sweep and sweep. Go ahead and work at a pace that makes sense for you. If you're looking for more of a stretch, you can pause and try to get more length in each direction. If you're looking for more of a quicker, trying to improve the pace, the speed at which you walk, maybe move a little bit quicker. Sweep the leg forward, sweep the leg backwards. And again, trying to get your torso to roll too. So as the leg comes forward, you're able to rotate and open up your chest towards the ceiling a bit more. Bill, get that leg all the way forward. Can you kick your bookshelf? There you go. That's when you rotate backwards. And then reach towards the bookshelf with your arm when the leg goes backwards. Let's go 2 more. That's it. That's it. There you go. Do a couple more of those. But for the rest of the team, we're going to finish up right there. Good. We're going to roll all the way over onto our front when you're ready. And have your hands next to your shoulders. Go ahead and tuck your toes here, especially if you're cramping in your calves. We're going to work on pushing backwards into hands and knees, or even elbows and knees if you need to. Push back into your hands and knees all the way. Come into a loaded beast position where you're still active. And then we're going to come forward and lower all the way down to the ground. So the transition is the exercise. We're going to go for a time interval so you can move as fast or slow as you'd like to. Some people, sometimes this can get a little metabolic depending on your system and how quick you're going. So if you want to add a little bit of heart rate, metabolic training, go ahead and move a little faster. Try to get your hips as far back over your heels as you can. And remember, the further back your elbows or your hands start, the more primed you're going to be to just be in your hands and knees position and get your hips back further. Great. We're going to do this for about 10 more seconds. You do you. Yep. Good shoulder work. Last one. Nicely done. Finish here. If you're not already on your hands, come up onto your hands. You can untuck your toes. All right, let's work on those patterns that we did on our back here. All right, first part of this series, bring your hands a little bit closer together and maybe your knees a little wider. That's a nice trick. We're going to take your arms, push your shoulders out of your ears and push your heel of your hand into the floor. All right, we didn't explicitly talk about that protraction, but you're basically pushing the ground away so you're stronger when you release one arm up past your ear. Let's go thumbs to the ceiling. Release your hand down. Re-engage in those scapulas. Push into the floor with one arm as you reach up with the other arm. Good. Eyes are up. And I want you to try to minimize the drama as you shift from one hand to the other. Minimize the drama. Very nice. We're going to go for 4 more. 3 more. Yep. 2 more. And last one. Nicely done. Sit the hips back over your heels. Come onto your elbows. Make some fists and roll out your wrists. We've done a lot on our wrists today. It's good. It makes your bones stronger in your wrists. Makes those ligaments stronger, those tendons of connective tissue. All right, come on down. Again to your quadruped. Now your hands are going to go a little bit wider and your knees are going to come a little narrower. And we're going to do the leg reaching back. Dorsiflex your foot, kick out behind you and hold. And it's not so much about getting the legs super high. I do want height. I do want that. But I care more about the length in that leg. So really squeeze your quad so that the leg goes fully straight. Squeeze that kneecap. Slide the knee back to where it came from. Dorsiflex and then push that heel out again. Other side. And then keep going side to side. For this side, we're just doing the leg. I want you to focus on full extension of that knee. Squeeze your kneecap all the way. Get your quad to fire. More squeeze than you need to. So always, right? We're going to where you think you are. And then that inner voice of Steph going, you can go a little more, right? Go a little bit more than you think you need to. Bill, nice job. That looks better. Full extension of that knee. We're going to go for 2 more. Last one. Nicely done. Let's work on the transition into tall kneeling. So hips go back. Find your zombie fingertips. Pull yourself upright into a tall kneel position. Shoulders out of your ears. I did not forget the opposite arm and leg reach. We're just taking a little break. Interlace your fingers and roll your wrists here. Nice. Chest is up. Collarbones are open. Let the world see you. We've been sort of face down for a while. Switch the direction of your circles. Oh my goodness. One is always weird. There we go. Alrighty, nice and slow, slither yourself back down to the mat, hands and knees. We have opposite hands and knees now, similar to what we did on our back. Here we go, shoulders push the ground away. I like to do the leg first, but you do you. One leg comes back behind you, dorsiflex, make sure that leg's all the way straight. We don't want to advance until we've hit all of those points, those checkpoints. Knees are squeezed. So left leg is back, right arm is going to reach up past your ear, lengthening through, fingertips are stretching. Squeeze that quad, Bill. I want to see a straight leg. Bring your hand and your knee back to where it came from. Other leg goes out, squeeze the kneecap, feel the stability, left arm reaches, push the ground away with the limbs that are still on the ground. Sweep them back to center, switch and reach. Nicely done. And bring it back in. Now, right here, I want you to draw those abs and tuck your tail a little bit right before you reach the limbs. That way your back doesn't go into a sway or a sag. Here we go. Couple more. Big stretch. Always lengthening, always pushing down into the ground. Yes, nice job. We got 2 more. Last one, finish on the side that you did not start with. If you were different than me, bring it back. Sit the hips back when you're finished. Round your spine, come up onto your fingertips. Pull yourself up into vertical posture, zombie coming out of a swamp. Hips come forward, arms come down. We're gonna work our way up to standing. Pick your side that you wanna go up on. We're gonna bring one leg forward. Use a wall or a chair or whatever you need to. So if you need to walk your knees over to a chair, go ahead and do that. Tucking your back toe if you can. Push over your front knee so that you can drive up to stand. Be mindful on your way up. Go ahead and walk a lap around the room and then come to your center spot. Nice job. Walk around the room, come to your center spot. All righty, roll those shoulders open. We just did a lot of shoulder work today. You need to do a little release all that tension. All right, let's do that body scan and a little bit of moving and swaying as we did at the beginning. Let's see if that got a little easier with some core activation. If it makes sense for you to close your eyes, please do that. If not, please don't do that or hold on to a wall or chair. Go ahead and start swaying from right to left, and we're going to use those arms. And we talked a little bit about layering in. So I know I'm going to cut off my head, but I think for the sake of seeing my feet, it's nice. Start to push off the toes, and you can get a little hip rotation. Anyone that played golf kind of channel that. Very nice. Hopefully you feel a little bit, all of your arms look like you're swaying more, by the way. Yeah, nice job. Notice the difference between now and when we started. Do you just feel like this is a more obvious thing to do? A little less like you have to think about all the pieces? Go ahead and let that sway stop. I'm going to just turn to the side. Go ahead and sway forward up onto the toes a little bit and then rock back onto your heels. And if you want to counterbalance, I recommend it. Counterbalance with the arms in front. Pull your hips forward as the toes press down and then shifting back. Notice for yourself, does it feel harder, easier, more automatic? Hopefully you feel more connected into your feet so you can use that toe scrunch to help you get up into your toe lift or heel lift. One more of these. Good. And then go ahead and just start bouncing those knees again. Bounce, 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 bounce. And if you want to start lifting your heels up, let the arms just do whatever. And if you want to start actually hopping, go ahead and hop. Nice. So finding something bouncy, even if it's just your arms. If it's hard to get in those legs, let's bounce the arms. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Brush it off. Take one more lap around the room. See how you feel. See what you notice. Do your legs feel work? Do your shoulders feel work? Do your feet feel engaged? What do you notice? If walking around the room is challenging, you can do feel squats. How does that feel? All right, coming back to your starting spot one last time. Eyes closed if that feels right for you and safe. Bring down your breath a little bit. Focus in your attention. Inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. Trying to fill your ribs from every angle, expanding outwards. And one more breath in. Excellent job. Nicely done. Give yourself a real round of applause. I'm going to turn off the recording. If you have anything that you want to share with us, let us know.